and all eyes on Kamala Harris today as she popped up at an anodyne event at the White House. It was praising junior athletes, but she used the opportunity, Barb, to say some words about Joe Biden.
Yeah, an event that we would normally never have followed, so kind of strange to be focusing on it so much. Kamala Harris making quite brief remarks at the beginning, really effusive in her praise for Joe Biden, saying he'd achieved more in one term than many presidents achieved in two, and also paying tribute to his character and his big heart. But she didn't take the opportunity to do any kind of campaigning, did she? She let it stand there.
Yeah, indeed. Let's hear now from the Vice President Kamala Harris speaking on the South Lawn of the White House.
The qualities that Beau revered in his father are the same qualities that I have seen every day in our president. His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
Vice President Kamala Harris, and hopefully, as she sees it, the new Democratic nominee for the White House, bringing you into the conversation now. Emma and Lisa, she has been anointed by Joe Biden, but she faces a long and potentially perilous road between now and November.
And I will be curious, everyone's dismissed the earlier polling as hypotheticals. Now they will be polling every day, trying to work out where the weaknesses are and the strengths for the Republicans when they're looking at how they might change the campaign. Michael, now that Nancy Pelosi has said she has her support as well, so it's almost a done deal. But what do you think the campaign's going to look like?
Oh, it's going to look very differently from Joe Biden's campaign. There's already a burst of energy, massive increases, Barb, in fundraising. The fundraising totals have gone through the roof. And what I see is very different is the whole age issue that counted so badly against Joe Biden has now been completely inverted with Kamala Harris.
Yeah, the Trump campaign, of course, can no longer use that. What I think will be very interesting in terms of how the campaign might be shaped is who she decides, if indeed it firms up that Kamala Harris is the nominee. Does she make a strategic pick for vice president? Does she, for example, look at a Democratic governor of a swing state to try and perhaps balance out J.D. Vance, who we've heard is really going to target those states and really focus and draw upon his working class, his hillbilly roots? So that, when and if Kamala Harris firms up, I think that's going to be another exciting, dynamic question which will shape the campaign.
Indeed, and she's hitting the ground running. She was at the White House this morning, and Emma and Lisa, she is on her way to Biden campaign HQ in Delaware to speak to campaign workers. So it's all happening, as they say.
It certainly is. Michael, I just want to ask, the other story that's happening in the last few hours is the Secret Service director. Now, she's fronted Congress over this attempt on Donald Trump's life and has copped an absolute grilling. What's been the fallout there? What's happened?
What has happened is I've seen something very rare in Washington, and you'd agree, Barb, a display of unity on Capitol Hill. It's not something you see every day, but both Republican and Democrat members of the House Oversight Committee were really after Kimberly Cheatle in a big way, weren't they?
I think so, and the admission she made about what had gone wrong there, and I think we'll hear in a minute, I think it's really hard to see how she stays on. I don't see how you can admit to that level of failure, a failure that played out on live TV, and still stay in your position. So curious to see what her future is. She appeared to be trying to dig in during that fiery committee hearing, but let's see what the next few days and weeks bring there.
Yeah, let's see how fiery that hearing was. Here's a snippet involving the Secret Service Director and Republican Congressman Mike Turner.
The Secret Service's solemn mission is to protect our nation's leaders. On July 13th, we failed. As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency.
Director Cheatle, Because Donald Trump is alive, and thank God he is, you look incompetent. If Donald Trump had been killed, you would have looked culpable.
So how long the Secret Service director survives, we don't know, but it was a real grilling she copped today over what were massive security failures that led to the attempted assassination of Donald Trump.